Yeah, it's not. Switch up seats. Glad to have you. Welcome.
There's only 2 things left on the agenda.
Okay. Okay, it's 5:59. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. If you would stand while Linda leads us in an invocation. If you'll please bow your head, I'll pray for us. Lord, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for the breath in our bodies that you give us just to enjoy our life, Lord, and to make a difference where we can. I thank you for each person here tonight. There's so many who do make a difference in our kids' lives, and we're grateful for them and their influence and the work that they put in to help our students be the best they can. I pray, Lord, that you would bless us as our school year ends, that you would keep us all safe through the summer, Lord, that you would be with the graduates, that they can make wise choices and that they will be prepared for the future that lays ahead of them. I thank you for this board. I pray, Lord, that we would make wise decisions, that we would be able to understand the issues at hand. And Lord, we need your guidance, especially in these days when our finances are very tough for us. And we know that it's our job to provide for our students. And we just ask you to guide us as we seek to do that. I pray that we would be agreeable even when we don't agree. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. You may be seated. And now we'll go into recognitions.
All right. So I believe we have some staff recognitions tonight. So, Ms. Stowe, you ready?
Yes, so tonight is the recognition of our instructional aides, new teacher of the year, and teacher of the year at each campus. We are going to start with our instructional aides. I'm going to let each principal go ahead and come up, and then we'll call each teacher and instructional aide up as well. Okay, we'll start with instructional aides. So, Ms. Bolton, would you like to start?
I would be happy to. Come on up, ladies. Today is my deep honor to recognize a woman whose impact on our campus runs far deeper than her quiet presence might suggest. Our paraprofessional of the year, Miss Wendy Gomez. I know she's kind of shy, so I'm going to go ahead and start talking as she's walking up here. Mrs. Gomez is a woman of grace, humility, and quiet strength. She does not seek recognition, but her influence is undeniable. Her professionalism, compassion, and deep care for students speaks volumes, even when she doesn't. Ms. Gomez works primarily with our emergent bilingual students, walking alongside them with empathy, understanding, and an unwavering patience. She knows firsthand what it feels like to be in their shoes, and that memory has shaped the way she uplifts her students with gentleness, determination, and a belief in their potential. Beyond the classroom, Mrs. Gomez is often found translating through our ARD meetings, a critical support that helps our non-English speaking families navigate the often complex world of special education with confidence and clarity. Her presence brings both comfort and connection. She is all heart, and she shows up every single day with a determined spirit and a willingness to do whatever the job requires. And perhaps what is most exciting is that Ms. Gomez isn't finished growing. She is currently participating in our CBISD apprenticeship program with dreams of becoming a certified teacher herself. Ms. Gomez, you are an inspiration. Your quiet faithfulness and love for our students makes a difference, one child at a time, one family, and one moment at a time. Please join me in congratulating Professional of the Year.
Don't go anywhere because we're gonna get one for two. Ms. Galloway.
All right. This recognition is a special one because it's no secret that I have a soft spot for educators who once thought life had other plans for them, but then found themselves exactly where they were always meant to be. Miss Angie Alarcon, our paraprofessional of the year at Barrow Elementary, is one of those people. From the moment, From the moment she joined our Barrow family, it was obvious. This work wasn't a job for her, it was a calling. The way she connected with students, the way she supported teachers, the way she carried herself, it all spoke volumes. She didn't need a title to lead, and she didn't need recognition to give 110% of herself every single day. She has always been passionate about her work, yet every time someone mentioned becoming a teacher, she hesitated. Not because she didn't love the kids, not because she didn't have the gift, but because sometimes it's hard to see in ourselves what others have seen all along. Thankfully, God always sees the full picture, and his plans are so much better than anything we could have imagined for ourselves. This year, Miss Angie earned her bachelor's degree. She enrolled in an alternative certification program, and tonight, you'll see her name recommended as a future teacher right here in CBISD. Angie is the kind of teammate who makes everyone around her better. She creates schedules that meet every single student's needs, even when it means going above and beyond. She knows the kids, she sees them, she believes in them, and she shows up for them, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. She reminds us all that support roles are not secondary. They are essential, and when done right, the way she does them, they change lives. Angie, thank you for your heart. Thank you for your quiet leadership. And thank you for proving that when you walk in your purpose, I have already cried enough today. Thank you for proving that when you walk in your purpose, incredible things follow. We are so proud of you and even more grateful to walk this journey with you.
All right, Ms. Kobe.
All right. I am proud to introduce to you Ellie Zaragoza, our Wild Peach Paraprofessional of the Year. Ellie is without a doubt one of the hardest working individuals I have ever met. She consistently goes above and beyond each day and is always willing to do whatever it takes to support the students and staff of Wild Peach Elementary. Throughout the year, Ellie has been called on to substitute in a wide range of classrooms, including our self-contained special education classes, and she always steps in with professionalism and care. She also plays a crucial role in translating during ARD meetings and often assists in the front office, helping to bridge communication between our school and Spanish-speaking families. Beyond that, Ellie helps translate written communications such as letters sent home or posted on campus Facebook, ensuring all families feel informed and included. Her attention to detail and commitment to accuracy are invaluable to our school community. She helps me a lot. Eventually, I'll learn Spanish too. Ellie is also a go-to leader among our paraprofessionals. Her peers regularly turn to her with questions, and she is always willing to offer guidance and support. Her knowledge, experience, and calm, can-do attitude make her a trusted and respected member of our team. Ellie's work ethic, flexibility, and heart for children truly sets her apart. We are incredibly fortunate to have her, and it is with great pride that I recognize her as Wild Peach Elementary Paraprofessional of the Year.
All right. West Brazos Junior High is proud to have Coach Jordan Barrett. Come on down. I can't say enough great things about Coach Bear. I was so excited when Coach Bear decided to come back to West Brazos Junior High, and I could go on and on, but his presence on campus is beyond, it's incomparable. He is the voice in the weight room, the voice in athletics, and when I say the voice, it is the most supported. I want to run through a wall for you, Coach Bear. Whatever you think I can do. If you think I can do it, we'll do it. He is the person who pulls students. He's in our behavior room. I should have started with that. He helps our students who may need extra support in behavior, but he is well beyond that. He sets goals for them for outside of school. He sets academic goals and behavior goals and athletic goals and just all around goals as a good person. Coach Bear doesn't stay in the behavior room. He comes out all the time in the hallways. He checks on teachers to make sure they're okay. Classroom management, he is our go-to guy. He will pull students and athletes and ask them how their grades are. Did you hit your max? What's your next goal? And I see one of our students back there shaking his head. They love Coach Bear, and so do we. And we are so much more strong as a campus having him by our side. And I could go on and on, but I am so proud to present this to Coach Jordan Barrett. That Coach Bear is also in the apprenticeship program and will be moving into a resident teacher next year.
Thanks.
All right, Mr. Kinney.
Ms. Greason, if you'll join me up here. Our instructional aide paraprofessional of the year is Laura Greason. As she makes her way up here, I'm going to talk a little bit about her, but give her a round of applause. So you've heard everybody up here talk about the role, the support role that these people play and how important it is. Ms. Greason's is a little bit different. She's been a one-on-one support staff for one student for the last couple of years. And if you've been in a classroom or as a student, you know, teachers become like parents to us, right? Not so much. This one is a true mother to the student that she's been working with for the last couple of years. They bicker, they argue like mother-daughter. They plan everything like mother-daughter. Sometimes you'll see Ms. Greason walking down the hall and her students trailing behind her like a mother hen and her little duckling. Sometimes our student is taking off in a wheelchair and Ms. Greason's chasing behind her trying to get to where she needs to be as well. So she's worked with her for many, many years, and it's all coming to culmination with graduation. So her student is graduating. She's going to be right there with her, excited. And because of that, we wanted to make sure that we recognize Ms. Greason and the years of hard work that she has put into this young lady to get her where she's at. So thank you very much for your dedication, hard work, and love for our children.
Can I get all the instructional aides together really quickly at the front? Use it. Okay. Y'all aren't in it. You're good. All right. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Next, we will be recognizing our new teacher of the year. We'll go in the same order. Ms. Bolton.
It is an absolute joy for me to recognize this year's new teacher of the year for West Columbia Elementary School, Miss Paige Ham. From the moment Miss Ham joined our campus, she has been a bright, shining light, someone whose presence brings warmth, encouragement, and genuine joy to those around her. She has entered the world of education with a beautiful balance of grace and grit, listening when she needs to listen, learning all that she can, and yet confidently making her classroom her own. What sets Ms. Ham apart is her fierce determination to give her students the very best of herself. She pushes them to achieve their personal best, and she never stops striving to become everything that her students need her to be. Her work is grounded in heart, but fueled by high expectations, the mark of a truly great teacher. Being a new teacher today is no small feat. The challenges are real and the learning curve is steep. But Ms. Ham has shown us all that she is more than up to the task. And even more importantly, she's given us hope. Hope that the future of education is in good hands, very good hands. Ms. Ham, we're so proud of you. We're so grateful for you. We're so excited to watch your journey unfold. Please join me in congratulating our new teacher of the year, Ms. Paige Ham.
Okie dokie. I am so excited to honor someone whose journey into the classroom was anything but traditional, but whose heart for this work was undeniable from the very beginning. Our Barrow New Teacher of the Year, Miss Lacey Hartney. While she's on her way up here. If you know Lacey's journey, you know she stepped in mid-year last year as a long-term substitute, something many would find daunting or overwhelming. And while she may have had, and I know she had, those moments of uncertainty, you would have never known it. In just a few short weeks, Lacey brought calm to the chaos, built meaningful connections, and created a classroom environment rooted in trust, consistency, and love. She didn't just fill a role, she showed up with the kind of purpose and presence that can't be taught. It's hard to believe this is her very first year as a classroom teacher because everything about her says otherwise. She teaches with the intuition of someone who has done this for decades. The way she manages her room, builds relationships, and brings learning to life. It's like she's found her calling and leaned in with everything she's got. Not gonna cry. Lacey is the kind of teacher kids remember forever. She's the safe place, the encourager, the one who sees the kid beneath the struggle and shows up every day ready to fight for them. She doesn't just teach content, she teaches confidence, resilience, and hope. She's the kind of teacher you take risks for, the kind you fight to keep in your building. Because what she brings to the table can't be replicated. It's a gift, and it's a rare one. The kind of gift other educators work years to develop, and she wears it so humbly, often questioning if she's doing enough, when in reality, she's doing more than enough, and she's doing what matters. She just gets kids, and they feel that. They trust her, they thrive under her care, and they grow, not just academically, but emotionally too. Because with Ms. Hartney, they know they're seen, heard, and valued. Lacey, you are everything we hope for in a teacher. You are passionate, you are grounded, you are fiercely student-centered, and you are exactly what this profession needs. We are so proud of you, and more than that, we're thankful. Thankful that you chose us, thankful that you pour your whole heart into this work, and thankful that our students get to experience the magic that is you. Congratulations, Ms. Hartney. You are made for this, and we are so lucky to be part of your journey.
Wait, coming up back to back. I am proud to recognize Miss Michelle Hunter as this year's Wild Peach New Teacher of the Year. Mrs. Hunter has shown incredible resilience, dedication, and adaptability throughout her first year with us. She began the school year teaching first grade, but when enrollment numbers shifted and our pre-K classes grew, she was asked second week of school to transition to pre-K. Without hesitation, Mrs. Hunter approached the change with grace and enthusiasm, seeking it as an exciting opportunity rather than a challenge. She quickly prepared her new classroom to welcome 20 energetic 4-year-olds, and she has done so with unwavering positivity. Mrs. Hunter is eager to learn, always open to feedback, and willing to try new strategies, especially if it benefits her students. She is often one of the last to leave each day, staying late to ensure that everything is just right for her students the next morning. Her commitment to creating a warm, organized, and engaging classroom environment is evident in everything she does. When questions arise, she doesn't hesitate to seek guidance from her grade level mentors or instructional coach or the leadership team. Her strong work ethic, collaborative spirit, and unwavering focus on student success makes her a shining example of what it means to be an educator at Wild Peach. Congratulations.
Ariel? All right, West Brazos Junior High is beyond excited to present Miss Jalen Bonner. Come on down, Miss Bonner. Coach Jalen Bonner is a Columbia graduate, and she came back this year and decided that she wanted to become a teacher. And from the moment I met her, she was the whatever you need type of person. I was like, what about 6th grade science? Whatever you need, Miss Lasario. Well, do you need anything? No, I'm gonna figure it out. And that's been her spirit and her smile. This beautiful smile it brings joy to our hallway, to our kids every morning. We have lots of dress up days. You can always count on Coach Bonner to be better dressed than any of the students in the hallway. It brings so much to our campus. And then she also coached all the things this year. That's a lot of hours and a lot of time away from family. And she poured her entire heart into our students and to her first year of teaching. And all of the projects in the science class, she had so many different things going on. It's always fun to go into her classroom and see what exciting things she's doing. And I couldn't be more excited to have her at West Brazos Junior High as part of our team and one of the leaders of spirit and engagement and fun. She keeps us all young at heart, so we appreciate you, Ms. Bonner.
Columbia High School's new teacher of the year is also a Columbia grad. She has a younger sibling graduating this year. Her family has worked in the district. So Mrs. Fairfield, if you'll join me up front here. So I know that this says New Teacher of the Year award, but Ms. Fairfield is more than a new teacher. She is a natural teacher. From day one, she stepped in, natural command of the classroom, natural classroom management, natural at building relationships with the kids, naturally engaging the students in the lessons. Anytime you walk into a room, the kids are engaged. She is leading them. She is teaching them. She works with a wonderful science department who did everything they could to set her up for success. But the truth is, it's not that they set her up for success, it's that she did everything she could to succeed. She took the advice, she heeded the advice, she applied the advice. She would listen, learn, and apply, just like we want our kids to do. She exemplifies that every single day. She is always one of the last people to leave, but she always has a smile on her face when she leaves, the same smile that she had when she walked in that morning. Regardless of what's going on, she's going to smile. She's going to let you know that this is a positive, safe place. All the things that the previous principal said apply to her as well. But I will personally say, because I'm a little biased, that we got the best of the best. We're so proud of you. Congratulations.
Okay, last but not least, our Teachers of the Year.
All right, it is my great privilege to recognize a truly exceptional educator, our Teacher of the Year, Miss Cheyenne Roddy. I would like to note that Miss Roddy has also been selected as our District Elementary Teacher of the Year, and this is a title that beautifully reflects what we already knew at WCE. She is a one-of-a-kind teacher whose impact radiates far beyond her classroom. Miss Roddy's the kind of teacher who doesn't wait for inspiration. She creates it. She is innovative, passionate, and always hungry to learn more, to grow, and to stretch her teaching craft in ways that make learning more engaging and meaningful for her students. Her leadership on the second grade team has not only lifted student achievement, but has elevated and inspired her colleagues as well. This year alone, Ms. Roddy has led the UDL cohort as our leader, coached multiple UIL teams, started our campus robotics club, and maybe most memorably sparked joy with gestures that have made the biggest difference. Her sticky note movement of encouragement at the beginning of the year was one example of how she leads not only with brilliance, but with heart. When faced with obstacles, Ms. Roddy doesn't get stuck. She charts a new path. Her creativity, resilience, and joy make her not only a phenomenal teacher, but also an anchor and a light for our entire campus. Ms. Roddy, we are so proud of you. Thank you for being a bright example of what's possible when passion and purpose meet in the classroom. Please help me congratulate our Teacher of the Year and District Elementary Teacher of the Year, Ms. Cheyenne Roddy.
Tonight, I have the privilege of recognizing someone who embodies everything that is right about education and everything that is good about the heart of Barrow Elementary, even if she won't admit it herself. It is my honor to name Carly Jones as our 2025 Barrow Teacher of the Year. And she's a crybaby, so she's gonna cry, and I'm probably gonna cry too. There are so many reasons why Carly is worthy of this award, and if I tried to name them, we'd be here all night. But when I think of Carly, 3 words rise above the rest: driven, fearless, and deeply student-centered. Carly works with students who, in so many ways, have had the odds stacked against them. Students who often come with gaps, challenges, trauma, or behaviors that would make some people throw in the towel, but not Carly. She sees beyond the surface. She doesn't focus on what they're lacking. She zeroes in on what they need. She meets them where they are and then gets to work helping them rise. Whether it's creating IEPs, adjusting lessons on the fly, or just sitting next to a student who needs someone to believe in them, Carly is always in the trenches with her kids. Not because she has to be, but because she chooses to be. And she never does it for recognition. In fact, she would probably prefer not to be up here tonight. And I will just tell you, when we were voting on New Teacher of the Year, she said, I hope they don't vote for me. But we see her, and we see the effort, the advocacy, and the relentless pursuit of equity that she brings into our building every single day. She's the kind of teacher who changes lives, quietly, powerfully, and permanently. Her students are successful not by chance, but because Carly refuses to let them fall through the cracks. They thrive because she's there to catch them, push them, support them, and celebrate them. She doesn't need to be told what to do. She takes initiative. She doesn't wait for others to notice a gap. She fills it. She is one of the first people to ask, what can I do to help? She's the kind of person who never thinks she's doing enough, even when she's doing the work of 10 people. The kind of person who probably doesn't even think she's deserving of this award because she's too busy thinking about what more she could be doing. And that's exactly what makes her so exceptional. Carly is a light for her student and a leader amongst her peers. She holds us all to a higher standard simply by being who she is. Carly, your work matters. Your impact is immeasurable, and Barrow Elementary is forever better because of you. Congratulations, and thank you for being exactly who you are.
I love you.
It does help that she has a good husband.
Okay. It is my honor to recognize Mrs. Lacey Sherg as our Wild Peach Teacher of the Year. Mrs. Sherg is a dedicated first grade teacher. She's a true asset to the Wild Peach team. She brings a calm, steady presence to her classroom, but her students know when she means business and when it's time to learn. She strikes the perfect balance between expectations, heartfelt respect, treating every student with kindness, fairness, and dignity each day. What sets Ms. Sherg apart is not only her calming demeanor and nurturing approach, but also her commitment to continuous improvement. She regularly reviews student data, takes the initiative to schedule meetings with the leadership team to develop thoughtful strategies that support academic growth. She always comes prepared with a plan and a purpose when bringing new ideas to the table. Her proactive mindset and focus on student success are true examples of leadership and professionalism. Beyond the classroom, Mrs. Sherg plays a key role in one of Wild Peach's most beloved traditions, the Wild Peach Rodeo. Whether you've seen the pictures or not, this is a huge event for our campus. Mrs. Sherg helps organize and set up the hayride and personally reaches out to other CBISD family members to invite students to bring their horses to join the fun. Families come, load horses on the trailer, and they are there with us all morning, thanks to Ms. Sherg. Her work ensures that this event is not only successful, but memorable for everyone involved. Her efforts build joy, connection, and community for our students and their families. Mrs. Sherg's dedication, consistency, and intentional teaching make a lasting impact, not just for her students, but for her colleagues and for the entire school community.
All right, West Brazos Junior High's Teacher of the Year this year is Shelby Silva. So Shelby is the type of person that when I have an idea, I go to Shelby and say, hey, I have a thought, hear me out. And she's like, okay, we've got this. We can do it. Let's make it happen. I often tell her that she is the type of person that builds culture on a campus. She is the smile in the morning with the thumbs up and the cheer squad of all the students who they come through the door and are excited to be at school. Even pom-poms. She's our dance sponsor. She was ELA and yearbook and the media team. She started the media team at West Brazos Junior High and publishes that every Friday of our students. Well, she oversees. Now the students are running it with her support. And so then she moved into introduction or principles of education, college and career readiness. And so her list of preps a day is this long, and she does it with a smile. She has these students learning how to be teachers in principles of education. They are leading PD on what a good classroom looks like and how to provide supports to all students. Our students are going into our life skills classroom and building bird cages and interacting, and they have buddies. Our students go into college and career readiness knowing how to budget. They know how to plan for the future, whether they're going to go to college or where they're going into career prep. All of those conversations are happening on a daily in Miss Silva's class. And I can tell you, as much as the staff loves you and loves her, the students do as well. She has so many students she has bonded with through the years. Year after year, they come in and say, when can I be in Miss Silva's class? And that's what we need. We need teachers like Miss Silva who pave for others, who come up with ideas of what they would like to see on campus, who tap into that artistic ability of our students, even though her class is not an art class, and provide a safe place for them to come out of their shells, plug in. So again, I would say that Miss Silva is so student oriented, but she is a path blazer on campus, and we are better because of it. And again, I'm so excited that we have students in here nodding, because that is where it really comes from, is our students have really great teachers. And Miss Silva is that cheerleader for all students, all teachers, admin, and she's not willing to back down at all. She keeps going forward, and any obstacle, she's gonna come up with a way to come over it and bust through it. And I couldn't be more happy to have her on campus. So congratulations, Miss Silva. There's not a better one.
Columbia High School is proud and honored to announce Mr. Melvin Miller as our Teacher of the Year. I just want to start off by saying that this man right here has the heart of a servant. Okay, first off, he's a veteran, so thank you for your service. And this servant's heart comes out every day. So he teaches seniors economics and government. So he's teaching them the importance of being an active citizen, the importance of their civil duties, and that their duties, not necessarily rights, okay? We've got to live up to those and do those things and be active, productive citizens. So he's teaching our seniors that every day. Now, if you think teaching is hard, try teaching seniors in May. Senioritis is a real thing, but he still gets them to come. He still gets them engaged in lessons in the classroom discussions that they're having. He teaches more than economics and governments. He teaches more than civil duties and responsibilities. He teaches these seniors how to be critical thinkers. He lets them know you're about to enter the real world. What you've done now isn't what you're going to see, and he helps prepare them for that, to think through the processes and to make smart decisions. He does that because he loves every single one of our children. And you can see that in the hallways every day. He spends all 5 minutes, if not more, in the hallway during passing period, giving hugs, shaking hands, checking on kids. Are your grades turned in other classes? And I still have yet to figure out how our freshmen and sophomores know him so well when he teaches seniors. This is the man I aspire to be when I grow up. We are so proud to have Mr. Miller. He does so much for our campus. The kids in his class don't miss assignments, don't act up, not because they're afraid of the discipline Mr. Miller is going to hand out, because they're afraid to disappoint Mr. Miller. And that right there is the culture we're trying to create, and I thank you so much for what you do. I would also like to announce Mr. Miller is our District Secondary Teacher of the Year. Congratulations, sir.
All the teachers of the year really quickly, and then we will move on.
Well, I feel trapped.
Ms. Stowe, we have one student
We have
recognition.
one student recognition from West Brazos Junior High. Miss Luceria, you want to come on back up?
All right, come on up, Miss Luz. This is Luz Olvera Juarez. So Luz was one of our students who entered into the Take Your Child Fishing art contest. And it was over 350 applicants, and she got first place in the entire area. So we were invited and got to join her for the captain's dinner, where they had her picture everywhere. It was on cookies, it was on shirts, it was in the front of, we took a picture underneath it. This is her picture, guys. How awesome is that? So we wanted to take a moment to recognize her for representing West Brazos Junior High so well. And all the people who signed up for Take a Child Fishing got to wear her art. And so that was super exciting, and we are very proud of you. So congratulations. Sorry, yes.
Congratulations. Good job. Great.
Right?
Hold the shirt up.
Okay, you hold this side. There we go. Teamwork.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and just skip to the two things, and then we'll go back up. We're going to go to accept certification of unopposed candidates and approve order of cancellation of May 3rd, 2025 election.
Julie, we just need a motion to approve, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we accept the certification of unopposed candidates and approve order of cancellation of May 3rd, 2025 election. Do I have a second? Second by Ray. All in favor? That motion carries. Next, we'll go to the administration of oath of office to the trustees. Wait, before y'all leave, would y'all please stay till citizens to be heard, and then you can leave? Sorry. I meant to say that before y'all got up, but if you could, just a few more minutes. Thank you.
Okay, Julie, you ready? How you doing first?
Right.
Do you solemnly swear, racist unto, that you will faithfully execute the duties of the office of the Columbia Brazoria Independent School District Trustee, position number 3, the state of Texas, and will do your best to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and the state of Texas, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. So you just solemnly swear. Sorry. This is
Getting your paycheck back, Ray.
Yeah, ready?
Jana. Do you, Jana Reed, solemnly swear or affirm that you will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Columbia Brazoria Independent School District Trustee, position number 4 of the state of Texas, and will you do your best to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help you God? I do. Perfect. Thank you.
Congratulations, Shanna.
Yeah.
You can go watch the Astros now.
Okay, next we're going to go ahead and be out of order again, but we're going to do citizens to be heard. I just have to read this statement. I don't think we'll have any problems with this young lady. The board shall not tolerate distribution of the meeting by members of the audience. If after at least one warning from the presiding officer, any individual continues to disrupt the meeting by his or her word or action, the presiding officer may request assistance from law enforcement officials to have the individual removed from the meeting. Sydney Horak has, just going to say a little introduction about Sydney. I've known her whole life, very proud of her. Sydney graduated CHS in 2021. She is now a graduate student at Texas A&M University. She wrote a book as part of her business honors signature work, and she's here to make a presentation. So Sydney, if you want to come up, if your parents want to come, and then if the elementary principals will come up. And I'll let Cindy talk. So Hannah, Miss Cohee, Miss Bolton.
Hi everybody. I am Cindy Pratt, and I wrote, illustrated, and published in children's book. And I wanted to present 3 books to elementary schools as a way of saying thank you so much for the immense love and support that I've given me throughout the years, and to also pave the way for future generations to show that they are loved and cared for just as they are. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. I know.
From a WC alumni.
Very good.
Thank you.
And if anybody else would like Sydney's book, it's on Amazon. Okay, if you would like to leave, you can go ahead and leave now. Thank you for staying.
We got to record, so.
Good, babe. Come on.
Already run out of here.
Yeah, Cody, are you ready? Who's first?
Same as normal. Barrow.
Barrow Elementary, Principal Galloway.
She's out the door, I think.
I run the robotics coach,
Okay.
robotics team.
Go to the next one.
Yep.
Columbia High School, Mr. Kenny.
I'd like to help out. Anyway, you can get my contact.
Perfect, thank you. Sorry, you're talking robotics.
Your turn.
Okay, so this is a compilation of end-of-year activities. I just wanted to share all the banquets, the things that are going on. So this is FFA, they had their banquet, they elected their new officers. In the middle picture there, they are sending off Dylan Harris. He has decided to enlist in the Army. That was his plan when he came out of college. He was a cadet at Texas A&M. He said he wasn't quite ready to enlist, and he is ready now. So he is enlisting, and they sent him off with everybody there. So I thought that was pretty cool. This is cheer and dancing dolls. They had their banquet. They introduced their cheer captains and then their military officers for dolls. You can tell they had a beautiful couple evenings. They did it 2 different nights, but it was just beautiful. So I just wanted to share those. This is our band. They had their end of year percussion. You can see them with the buckets on stage. So they had their end of year percussion concert. They also had just their end of year concert as a whole. Wanted to share that on May 26th, 7 of the band members will be going to state and ensemble competition in Pflugerville, Texas. So they're still going strong, even though they had their end of year banquets. Next is our thespians and choir. Very moving center picture, Ms. Robinson with her senior daughter. So, but they will also be having 13 choir members going to compete in their state solo and ensemble contest in Pflugerville. So again, they're still going strong, even though they've done their end of year banquet, but it was very emotional for Ms. Robinson. And we know that our thespians club with Jordan Williams will be going to Indiana for the national competition for her screenplay. And then we had our athletics had their end of year field day. They had a 7-on-7 tournament. They had a slow pitch softball tournament, and then they ended the day with a kickball tournament. These were the 2 teams competing in the championship in the center picture there. And so the team in white ended up winning overall. And then just some pictures. We had a beautiful senior awards. It was a very nice night. A lot of people were recognized, and it was just a very distinguished event, and I was very proud of how that turned out. So I just wanted to share some of those photos as well. So all of the end of year things going on keep us busy, busy, busy. So I just wanted to share some of those with you.
Thank you, sir.
And,
I'm back. Sorry.
There you go.
Yes. All right. So this week, the first LEGO League directors came to Barrow to award Miss Coolemans, our original BarrowBot sponsor, with an award for being an outstanding coach and mentor. Not only has she grown the robotics program on our campus, she has helped other robotics programs in the district get up and running. And we have so much interest on our campus for robotics that we are having to look at having mini bots for our second and third graders because they are so interested in the opportunity, and who are we to deny them of that? So we are still growing and hope to grow throughout every grade level at Barrow, but I wanted to recognize her because she does so much for not only us, but everyone in the district. Second, we had our Dunk-a-Palooza. This is the smartest fundraiser we probably ever do. Students can bring money to dunk their any teacher they want, their teacher or the principal of their choosing. And some of them really had it out for us. So I will say that. But more than that, more than them getting to do that, if you see all of the students out there, we were all outside, all just having a great time together. And we felt like one big happy family. So I wanted to highlight that. Then on Thursday night last week, we did have the opportunity to present 4 seniors with $500 scholarships. Every year, our Barrow Running Club does a run-a-thon in an effort to raise money to provide seniors with this. And we just love to do that. We love community, and we want to build that around Barrow Elementary, so we hope to continue doing this for years to come. And then on Friday, we had our elementary track meet. Our kids love this. We just love to get out there and compete. And I said this on Friday, that one thing I appreciate about Coach Josie is not only is he building the drive for them to want to compete, but he's also teaching them great sportsmanship. After the second graders ran the 400, which is a long race for those little bitty legs, I said, I am so proud of y'all. I thought you were going to quit halfway through. And one student told me that the one in front of him looked back at him and said, don't quit, just keep going. So I did. And that really just made my heart so happy because I'm glad we're building good people. And then we honored, it was a day full of tears today. We honored our 5th graders that are leaving us to go to West Brazos Junior High, and y'all are getting a good group. So I hope y'all enjoy them as much as we did. These are some great kids, and they put everything they have into Barrow. And as much as it breaks my heart for them to leave, and as much as I wish they could stay, they are moving on. But they were crying today because they don't want to leave Barrow, and that just speaks volumes about the culture we're trying to create there. So I really appreciated that.
All right. Here we go.
All right. So this is my favorite time of year. It's emotional, it is exhausting, the work has been done, and now we get to celebrate and team build and really let our kids know how much we love them and send them off for summer or even up to the high school. And so we sat down and tried to come up with the best way to get our kids to come to school the last week and a half of school, and minute to win it games are quite popular at the junior high. They are very competitive. So this is the first time we had 6th, 7th, and 8th grade compete for their class. And so as you can see, Connect 4 was a hit. Jenga, we had the guy at the top is doing Tic Tacs with tweezers, as many tweezers as he can get into. We had a rock, paper, scissors competition before the minute to win it. And so whoever was gonna go first had to rock, paper, scissors. So we just had lots of good fun, laughs, and competition. And it was a lot of fun to spend with the kids. We also had our GT Honors Showcase. The kids had their projects and they got to show them off to the community coming in and seeing their hard work. And we had great numbers come out this year. So it's always a good time to see them put that work in and be able to show that off. And then kickball and volleyball tournaments, again, competition. We had kickball tournaments for each grade level, and then the finals got to play the staff, and I can tell you that our staff is undefeated against all grade levels. Our kids are very happy with us about that, but they had a great time and gained a lot of respect for their athletic coaches. And so you can even see our flaggers at the bottom. They took their job seriously. So it was a lot of fun. Uno has become a hit. We have had mini Uno to big Uno, and this is in the cafeteria at lunch. So these kids are just continuously building camaraderie. If you see the balloon blowing, they're blowing a balloon across to knock over the cups. Now this one got really competitive because everybody was yelling for their teams, and so just having a lot of fun and enjoying each other before the summer. And I'm happy to announce that we hit our 93% for the week last week. And so we had set that goal for them and asked them, please come to school this last week and a half. I promise it'll be worth it. And we had to build a little bit of FOMO, or fear of missing out. And they showed up and they have behaved so well. Today was field day, and it was also a wonderful time. And then again, Luce's drawing for the Take a Child fishing tournament, and she was awarded in front of the entire captain's dinner, and the dinner was a wonderful time. And Miss Natalie Taylor was the teacher that helped her with her art project and got it submitted, and so she went to the dinner as well. And as you can see, her picture is above us, so it was everywhere. It was a great time. And then I wanted to give a shout out to Nurse Lamb. We love Miss Hannah Lamb. She is our nurse, and we celebrated Nurses Day along with Teacher Appreciation Week. And so I wanted to give her a special shout out because she is a rock star on our campus with adults, with students. She's a calm spirit, but she's always a helping hand, and we are very blessed to have her. So I wanted to give her a shout out tonight.
Principal Bolton.
All right, first up, I just wanted to share with you guys that we had a visit from Gigi, the penguin, and ST Math this week. It was an opportunity for all of our students who maybe completed their entire path or were the highest boy or girl in their grade level to get recognized, and they got to do it in person with Gigi. On the next slide, I just wanted to share with you we had a wonderful evening kindergarten program for the first time. It was very well attended, went very smoothly. The kids sang their little hearts out, and my favorite part, of course, is always watching the parents in the audience as they see their special ones finish such a big milestone grade in kindergarten. Similarly, we also did our famous Kinder Mommy Makeover again this year, where all the mommies and some grandparents and aunts and uncles and things like that came and helped. Even on our left, I'd like to highlight, no uncles. On the left, we even had some of our own staff members step in if they didn't have a mommy to do a makeover on. We had plenty of staff members that were willing to step in and let the makeover happen. Also wanted to highlight our career day. We've been so blessed with Miss Elaine Walters, who is retiring after 21 years of faithful service at WCE. She organized for us another amazing career day. We had Phillips 66, we had veterinarians, we had wildlife, marine people, we had, the next slide will show you the rescue people that on the boats that go and rescue people get lost at sea, and of course all of our law enforcement as well. It was on the next slide you can see we had VTEL, we had neonatal nurses. I mean, the list goes on and on of all the visitors that we had on our campus, and our kids are definitely enriched in their opportunities and knowing what careers they might want to pursue in the future. And last but not least was just recognizing our Teacher of the Year, new Teacher of the Year, and Paraprofessional of the Year as well.
Principal Cohey.
All right, so May, as Ms. Huebner noticed, at Wild Peach Elementary is a very busy time for us. We celebrate all the things to encourage the students to come to school. So if we make learning fun, then our hope is they will come. So we celebrated, or we recognized Cinco de Mayo. Our kindergarten classes dressed up, and they had a feast. They enjoyed, families prepared food in all the classes, and so what we did is like stations. So one class had homemade empanadas, one class of parents made tamales, and they just had different foods that they went around and tried, and then did crafts. So it was a fun time. Kids really enjoyed it, and they all tried the different things. We also had our Lunch with Loved Ones. Lunch with Loved Ones is the opportunity for anybody that you love to come and eat with you. So students had families come, and for those that did not have a loved one that could attend because of scheduling, our teachers took pictures with them, sat with them, and just spent time with them. That way everyone knew that they were cared for and had someone there to support them. And then again, sticking with all the things in May, if you drove by Friday, we had Splash Day, the fire truck. Wild Peach volunteer firefighters came and spent the entire day at campus spraying the kids. The kids had a blast, but again, we're working on building community and reaching out to our community. So our volunteer firefighters have come for several different events this year, and they truly enjoyed it. They especially enjoyed that we had the snow cone truck for the kids, and so we let them get snow cones too, of course. But in encouraging students to come to school and working to build attendance, the middle picture at the bottom, we have randomly classes that have 100% attendance get ice cream. And so they are enjoying ice cream from that we went and bought for them. So.
Okay, thank you.
Good
Good
job.
things happening. Okay, we are gonna jump around once again, and we are gonna go down to consider approval in addition of Wild Peach Elementary water well project to Columbia High School bond project.
If you look in your maroon folders, you have a stapled, it's about 7 pages long. The front page is the district letterhead. It says Business Office Memorandum on top of it. Yeah. So if you have that on the front page is a memo from Julie and Justin identifying the project and then what their recommendation is. If you'll turn the page, there were 2 bids submitted at opening. This is the first one. About 3/4 down to the right, you can see the price that was submitted. If you'll turn 2 more pages, after opening, they recognized that the bids were not apples to apples. And so a call was placed to this first one to update their bid. So their bid would be the total of those 2 numbers you see there.
101
Yes,
plus the.
plus the first page. Okay.
Okay.
And if you turn the page again, you'll see the next proposal. 3/4 down on the right, you'll see the price submitted there. And so this, if you look at the letter of the recommendation at the front, the recommendation is to go with the bid from Felder Water Well and Pump Service. So Julie's here, she was at the opening. Justin's here, he's at the opening. And I see Dale Felder back there as well. And ready to answer any questions if you have any at this time.
Justin, how did the bid package go out? Was it mailed out or?
It was I emailed it out to several people and hand delivered to others.
Okay,
So there is some information you need to share with them of why there's 2 bids.
Yeah, so we reached out to the locals,
okay,
the 2 here in Brazoria, Mr. Felder, and then Chafin in Needville Damon. If you had questions, answered them on the spot,
Okay.
and evidently they were either not interested or just forgot, I don't know. But
okay, that's fine, just as long as we know. I just want to make sure we gave our
Or
CBISD.
don't have the ability to do a 6-inch well.
yeah, some do not have the capability to do that size well. It's a
Okay,
little
that's
bit bigger
perfectly
than mom and pop.
Okay.
Yep.
Mr. Felder, how long do you think the well's gonna take once we approve it? And
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
how long is it gonna take for the well to get drilled, and when do you plan on starting?
Well, once we get the paperwork established, the contract signed, we'll notify the engineer. They have to mark the spot. Once the spot's marked, we have to do an 811 call to locate and find out. And at that point, we'll determine whether or not we need to have a private locator come out and see if there's any sewer lines or any conflict with the construction that's already existing around the school at that point in time. The manufacturer of the tank, it's a 5,000 gallon ASME coated pressure vessel that's required by the TCEQ. That vessel takes somewhere between 60 and 90 days to be built, depending upon what the lead time is from the manufacturer.
Okay.
Drilling the well generally takes about 7 to 9 working days is what it does. Drilling the wells is the small part. It's getting the tank, it's having the controllers built, all the electronics that have to be put into it. It's just not as simple as here we go, we can drill it and move it and move it out in 2 weeks. But it's probably gonna take 60 to 75 days to do it, yes, ma'am.
To get everything done. And in the meantime, our other well's just gonna pray that it's hanging on.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody have any questions, any board questions at all?
What about the power source? We're gonna run from the existing power source all the way, have you got with the electrical company on that?
Well, I've got some calls out, but I don't have definitive answers, but the idea is to add an additional service drop closer to that area that could potentially also be used in the ag barn should that come to light.
Also, probably it wouldn't be a bad idea to put a existing tie point on there for future use off the discharge of the pump. Instead of having to do it later, put a tie in, Dale. Future tie point if we could.
Future type 1? I'm not sure, I'm not familiar with what that means.
We can do whatever we think. They're probably gonna have to require us to either do a 250 or 400 amp service over there to get the 3-phase power, what the school has already. And, so I haven't built one in a while, but generally, you have a breaker box, a meter, or a disconnect, a meter.
We're talking about a tie point on the water side.
Sir?
A tie point on the water side.
A type O on the water side?
On the water.
We'll have all that done. That's already.
I'm just looking at future expansion.
He said it's gonna have it done.
Man, I'm deaf. I can't hear anything. So,
Go ahead and come up and answer his question. Go ahead and come up. That's what you talk about.
Just looking at a future tie point for any future expansion out there at the Wild Peach campus, on the discharge of the pump. Instead of,
we'll have plenty of valves to tie into on the backside of the tank. You can't tie in between the pump and the tank. You have to tie onto the backside. Is what it boils down to. No, we'll make allowances for that. All of that's going to be done in flange ductile iron, so that where you have a 4-inch main shutoff valve that runs. And most of the time, what I do is I leave a T on an onion. I'll leave a cap, or have a spigot for sampling on the backside for spot. But we always leave an extra tie in. It's it's a 90 versus a T. The cost is about $30, so it's not insignificant to make sure that there's, a tie-in or a valve. And we do, like I told Justin, whatever y'all want, we'll put in for you for future provisions. It's it's a large project, so it's not making it easy for you the next go around. It's not a problem.
Thank you.
So we're going to put all new electrical in the facility itself. It's just a matter of getting the power from the power company. But everything else is brand new from, the whole thing.
So Justin, we're gonna have to get right-of-ways and all that, right? And that hasn't been done yet, right? Because we've got to get the spot marked before we can draft that.
Yeah, we'll have to, get easement paperwork drawn up, yes.
That's part of your engineering package that Mr. Harmon was put together, was to have that. So, and we have to get a letter from the state that says we have permission to drill the well before we can ever start and do that. But he shouldn't be far off. I've worked with him numerous times, and he's generally pretty good about it, having his ducks in a row ready to go. So it's a pretty easy process.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, then I will entertain a motion that we accept. Oh, do I have something to say or?
No, just
Okay.
read it, just off the.
I entertain a motion that we approve the addition of Wild Peach Elementary Water Well Project to Columbia High School Bond Project and awarding that to Felder Water Well and Pump Services. Do I have a second? Second by James. All in favor? Opposed? That motion carries.
All right, good deal. All right,
Sir,
that's it.
that's it.
You got it.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Dale.
Guys, y'all have a good day. Take care.
Take care, man.
Take care.
All right.
Okay,
Now we're back to reports. Is that correct?
yes.
Mr. Kenny, graduation report, you're up.
So your maroon folder, you'll see one of these. It says monthly school board report, May 2025, class of 2025.
Hold on and let them get it. Make sure they have it before you start, if you don't mind. That's it, right there. Right there.
Ready.
You good?
Ready.
Okay. So we have 214 students currently on the ceremony list, so on the stage. We have 2 students, life skills, that are not graduating. They'll be returning with us next year. We have 1 life skills student that is graduating. She is walking. We actually had her and her family on the field today with her wheelchair to make sure that we've got things where we need them. We're making sure that we've got full inclusion on that. So we're excited for her to do that. We have 18 early graduates. Of those, 12 are a cohort ahead. The other 6 are this year's cohort. They graduated in December. 14 IGC candidates, those are all complete. So we've got some that we're waiting on STAR results for. We haven't been in a situation where we get STAR results after graduation. That's where we are right now.
But they still meet.
They still meet graduation, yes. We have, when it says that we've got 2 students we're watching very closely due to STAR results, they have multiple. So they have 3 tests that they had to take. They have to pass one of them with 2 IGCs in order to graduate, so we don't know if they're graduating yet. The 14 IGCs are graduating. We know that. So the 2 we're watching, it's dependent on if they pass a test or not, because it's not just one. They need to pass one of 3. So that's why they're in a different situation.
Did they go through the IGC process?
They did, so they've
complete all
got
that?
3 IGCs
Okay.
turned in. It's just waiting to see if they pass one,
So they're
because we
very
can't
close.
accept 3 IGCs for graduation, only 2. So they have to pass one of their tests. And they were move-ins that came in later, and so they were catching up in English 1, English 2, and US History seems to be the ones that they're taking. 3 students will not be graduating. They'll be rolling over into summer. I need to get that complete. Hopefully they'll complete that in early summer with summer school in June. We have 19 foundation diplomas and 204 distinguished diplomas. The 19 and the 204 does not equal the 214 that are on the stage. That's because we've got the students that we're watching. We also have 2 students that have chosen not to walk. So they've graduated, they're getting their diplomas. They decided not to walk. One was anxiety reasons, another one was they graduated in December and moved on already. Okay. Any questions about any of those?
Make sure that 3 students, I guess, passed. If they don't, not those 3 students, the ones you're watching closely, I'm sorry. Those, if they do get it, but they don't, if they pass it over the summer or something, we will do something here in the
And that's what I met with mothers and told them that we will do an individual ceremony for them if they end up passing. We just don't know in time to have them participate in the ceremony.
And then at one time, there was 4 boys that we were watching. Are they good to walk? Okay.
I believe so. I'll get with you and make sure I know the exact names.
Okay.
The answer is yes.
Okay.
I wanted to say yes, but like I said, I want to make sure I know the exact
Okay.
names.
The answer is yes.
I don't know the exact names.
Okay.
I asked the same question to you earlier this week.
Okay. Okay. So we already covered that. Perfect.
Okay.
So practice will be Thursday morning at 9:45. They have to be at practice in order to participate in the actual ceremony. That way they know what to do. Sound will be Ryan Bozeman again this year. He told us last year that last year was his last year, but he told us this year that this year is his last year. So we're going to try to talk him into another year again, but we'll see what happens there. The ceremony is Thursday night, 8 o'clock, Greeks Field. I gave you guys the placards so you can park. We ask that you arrive around 7:20, 7:30. That's when the students start arriving, make sure that we've got everything set up. We're hoping it's about an hour, hour and a half, hour 15 minutes around there. Talking to Chief Sanders today, we'll have 12 officers on duty for the ceremony. Band boosters will be doing their water sales again. Questions? All right.
Sir.
Thank you. Next, we'll skip maintenance report because Justin looks pretty comfy back there. Just teasing. Go ahead, maintenance report.
He's crying. I saw him crying.
That was good. I got to hand it to you. All right. Well, roofing projects are underway. We are at currently at West Brazos Junior High. The anticipation is to have that finished by the end of this month and the first week of June. From there, transitioning over to WCE and knocking that one out. Of course, as you know, where we stand with the water well project, the LED lighting upgrade is about 85%. Most of all of the interior lighting has already been converted. There's a few little random here and there spots that we've got to get to just because we didn't have access or things going on at the time. Now we're shifting into all the exterior campus lighting, parking lots, wall packs, all that stuff. The sports lighting has been upgraded. There's a couple little things left to do, like the baseball field. There's some underground electrical that they're working on, but all of that has been completed. We're running tests on the football field. Matter of fact, I'm going to leave here in a little while. We're going to continue to do that just to make sure that we're ready. See what else. Can't think of anything else. That's kind of where we stand with that. Just keeping the daily grind and keeping the wheels going.
Okie dokie.
Can you catch me up on just the two roofs? I mean, was it like damaged from weather or was it?
Just age and starting to deteriorate.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Lastly, speaking of thank you, that just reminded me, we are currently working on budgetary numbers for replacing or recovering roofs at the other 5 campuses. There's a little structural evaluation that we're going to have to pay to get done first. It's a minimal cost, but that dictates whether we're allowed for recover or we have to go to full-blown roof. It really steers the direction this goes, because it could be wildly from one budgetary number to the next, pivotal on that report. And so I'm working with the engineers and consultants on getting that process done so that we have a clear line of sight on which way we need to head.
Okay, thank you.
And on
Anything?
that, the ages of those roofs we're looking at right now, or what campuses?
We're looking at the parts of Columbia High School that are going to remain.
Okay.
Wild Peach.
A, B, and C, which is this section here, this horseshoe from the band hall to right here.
Right. Everything at Wild Peach, and then at Barrow.
Okay. Barrow might be our issue, right? That's the pea gravel top?
As well as here.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the old pitch and rock.
But he said they could still do it.
Yeah, he said it's not a problem. They actually have this big hydrovac machine that sucks all the gravel and stuff off, and once they get it back down to the tar, then they clean all that up and they start their dens deck first layer and work their way up. It's the biggest issue is rooftop accessibility. We have a lot of plumbing, chill water lines, rooftop AC units, all that.
Well, I was going to say, I think with those gravel tops, you have that, right, where you've set stuff on top where you don't do it on the
curves and all that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of variables in there that's going to impact this, and so it's just the other things that we have to look at and address.
Is there any previous inspections? Or is this the first? Is there any previous inspection, or is this the first inspection?
This is the first.
Yeah, no, these are all these are aged, and so you asked the question, the junior high's original roof, over 20 years old, 20-year warranty when you put it on. We're going back, we did the 30-year warranty now, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so we went back on WCE and the junior high that had 20-year warranties. We went back with a 30-year roof now.
And this company actually guarantees it. The other warranties were a little sketchy, kind of, didn't really cover what we thought they would, but this guy's.
Well, and that's because the project, we're actually working through the manufacturer of the material and not the consultant putting it on, right? So the warranty's a little bit different, right? You're exactly right.
Okay, anybody else have any questions? All right, thank you, Justin.
Thank y'all.
Go make sure we have lights for graduation.
I'm on my way.
Lots of flashlights.
Well, that's not your party.
Next, we'll move to safety and security report.
All right, just a few things. Just so you know, TEA intruder audit, Barrow got hit the first few days of May. You'll be happy to know that all campuses successfully passed their intruder audits this year. that's a testament to what the principals do on a daily basis as far as making sure those doors are locked, making sure they're constantly fixed, putting work orders in to make sure that our kids are secure at all times. Last Wednesday, we had our spring safety and security meeting. If you haven't been to one, I invite you to come. We had quite a good turnout as far as first responders from throughout the district. We do need a couple board members to serve on that, so our next meeting will be July 23rd, so please pencil that in if you got times that you can come out and represent the district on the Safety and Security Committee meeting.
July 23rd
Here.
at what
We'll be in
time?
here at 4 o'clock. Chief is excited to say that him and his people will be destroying F-Wing here in a couple days. They're going to be using F-Wing before they tear it down to do breaching drills. So he's pretty excited about that. The district camera installation, talked to Josh today. Of course, you know, they're working on doing that. They're going to begin as soon as school's out, and they're looking to be complete by the end of June. So all the new cameras will be installed by the end of June is what they're predicting. Transportation and Josh are still working together on the radios to get that all figured out. We're anticipating those being in before school starts, and on the buses and on the campuses as well. So other than that, summertime's a busy time for safety and security. We do have an audit year as far as facility safety audits, so we'll be doing that. Presenting that to you on different campuses throughout the year. They'll have their summer door checks as well as any other safety training that the principals or police or myself or chief and his staff or myself will need to attend. So that's all I have. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Anybody have anything?
Can you try to remind us on that safety and security audit? Or
On the committee?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. For sure.
Just send a text out a couple days
Yeah, a
before.
couple days before. And then just if there's gonna be more than 3 show up, right, then we need to have it
Posted, yeah.
posted.
Yep,
Maybe we can respond when you text.
will do. Yes, ma'am.
We'll know.
Oh, and chief's report is in your folder, and I think he might be in the back of the room if you have any questions for chief.
I'm good.
Anybody?
If you have any question about the reports,
Okay, next we're going to go to instructional report.
All right. End of the year, like you said, we're still waiting on testing results, so there's not anything to talk about. There had been some questions recently, and as well as anytime the legislature's in session, certain things kind of come to the forefront. And so we thought it was a good time to talk library. So if you look in your maroon folder, you actually have a packet, and on the front it says CBISD library procedures. So the first page is just a couple of paragraphs from things that happen in the library at schools, and then the next 6 pages are actually local board policy FB, right? And so it has been a while since there was a book challenge. I want to say the last book challenge I remember was maybe back around 2004.
6.
Right, somewhere around in there.
I was on the board.
Yeah. You know, it's not one of those things that happens very often, right? And so when it does, you're like, what's the policy? Right? If you look at your board policy, and if you'll actually go to page 3 of 6 of your board policy, and you go down to the very bottom and you see where it says access procedures. A parent or guardian who wishes to access the school's library shall first submit a request to the principal. Just like everything we have, there's always a level 1, a level 2, a level 3. So anytime you have something at a campus, level 1 is always the campus principal, right? So if somebody comes to you and says, oh, we want to challenge a book, what's the first step? You need to go to your campus principal and have that discussion, right? Things, if a parent has a concern, does a parent have a right to visit the library and give us a title of a book and actually have a chance to sit down and read that and look at it? The answer is yes. Parents, students, guardians, all have the right to access any instructional materials we do. Anything we use in the school for instruction, a parent has a right to sit down and look at and talk, right? Now, doesn't mean they don't individually have the right to remove it. They individually have the right to remove their kid from that instructional resource, but they don't have the right to remove the resource from all the other kids, right? So there are processes. Anyway, it takes you through there, and if you read your board policy, the board doesn't have a right to remove a library book. You have a right to control instructional materials in the school, right? But you don't have the right to do that. Now, granted, if we have discussions and if there was something was going to be a challenge, obviously we're going to form a committee. Policy says we'll form a committee, and obviously I think we would work that out. But you individually as a board member don't have the right to remove that instructional resource, right? You individually are a parent, the board as a whole is a board. So questions, concerns, kind of the thought was, hey, we're buying library books, who's in charge of that? Well, for the last 3 years, I will personally tell you, in our administrative meetings, I've told campuses, if I were you, I wouldn't buy books, right? Just because that's a hot topic. Meaning, look at our books. Libraries are different today. How many books haven't even been checked out? How many books have, right? Do kids come into the library and read? Do they even need to check books out? Can they just come to the library and read? I mean, no, what is that process? I will tell you that this year, the books that were bought on the campus, no, quote, new library books were bought. They were either continuations of, like there's a series, like book 1, book 2, book 3, or maybe a book was damaged and had to be replaced with the same book that we already had. Or third, you might be in our English language arts areas, or even at the high school, there might be like reading list titles that are tied to books in instruction areas, and those were ordered, right? But in all of those situations, the vetting has taken place, right? So personally, what do we require? Number one, our librarians are responsible, because that's money's coming out of those library funds. They are responsible for any book. One of the things that used to happen in the past is that you would have these organizations, they would sell you package A, package B, package C that had all these titles, and you would just order a package, right? And nothing was vetted. Well, today, every individual title is vetted. We require the librarian to do that. Whatever campus it's coming from, if the campus principal has to approve that, the campus principal is required to vet that. The answer is not, did the librarian tell me everything was okay? No, the requirement is that the individual principal who's responsible for that looks at it, right? And then thirdly, library funds come through the central office, through Samantha Fowler's instructional office. They have to check off on that before that PO and those titles ever get approved. So we get verification from 3 levels in our district that it has met the qualifications before that PO is turned into Julie and those books are bought. So with that, I mean, now's a good time, right? Legislature's in session. There's library book bills on the table. What's going to happen? There is conversation, but this in a nutshell kind of gives you that response. The answer is, if you have a concern, go talk to your principal. It's almost the same thing as any other concern that you might have. And the principal starts that process there. And the second question is, if a parent wants to see something and they have a concern, the answer is yes. Now, are we just opening up the library for them to go visit during the school day and just go through the stacks? The answer is no. What is your concern? All right. Okay. Questions, concerns? Okay. Good deal.
Okay, next we're going to move on to the financial report.
Okay, so current year. I'm just gonna talk about current year. The current year, we're 83% through the school year. Our expenses are around 80%.
Is there something in our folder? I'm sorry. Okay.
No, it was online.
I'm sorry. I did not see that.
I think it's in the extra attachments.
Extra attachment.
It's not attached under,
No.
yeah, it's an extra.
Okay, go ahead.
Our revenue collection, it's going fairly well. The state programs, of course, it is through August or September before we get all of our money from the state. So it's only showing about 50%. I'm still guessing that we're still going to be in a deficit at the end of the year. I'm guessing somewhere around $1.2 million.
Which was where we started.
Yeah.
Where we started.
Yeah, and it could be a little more with our revenue coming in lower than we expected just because of attendance. And so that's kind of where we are this year. And then I have started working on just current law budget for next year. Wanted to see if we wanted to set up a budget workshop to discuss it.
But we got a couple more bullet points and then we're gonna get to that.
Any surprises on as far as budget, as far as surprise expenses?
Oh, no, we haven't had anything out of the ordinary.
Not for 24, 25, right?
We're talking about, no, they're just regular.
So our only surprises have been revenue not being taken away, whether it be SHARs, right? Those things are shockers when you get, well, SHARs twice, right? Number one, we're holding this amount back, and then again, getting another one saying the way you're calculating what qualifies is changing, right? So we got kind of a double whammy on SHARs this year.
And even having to pay back something from
Right.
2008.
Right. If y'all remember that conversation, right? So it's actually a three whammy,
Yeah.
right? We got hit twice and had to pay back something from years ago. Right. Well, not pay it back, they just withheld it and we didn't get it.
Right.
Right. The other thing I wanted to add was talking administratively about things that don't happen all the time. You have a one-pager in your maroon folder, and at the top it says authorization to conduct a fundraiser form. I've had several different conversations lately about different types of fundraisers, right? And that's one of those things that we talk, but as much as we talk and we present and we require, everybody thinks everything is CBISD, and it's just not, right? So this is the form, regardless of any type of fundraiser. If you fundraise at CBISD or any campus, in the name of CBISD or any campus, you use communication through CBISD or any campus, you use the parents and the kids or the organizations of CBISD, you have to fill out this form, right? So you see campus, and then you can see it says activity fund booster, because it could be a campus fundraising, it could be a student organization at the campus fundraising, it could be a campus student activity fund fundraiser, it could be a campus faculty fundraiser, it could be a athletic fundraiser, it could be a baseball fundraiser, choir boosters, ag boosters, right? And you have to hone it down, right? Who's actually doing this, right? Because, again, it could be band boosters. CBISD never sees that money, right? Anything a booster club does, and it works, they'll fundraise, but it eventually works its way back to the campus, the district, or the kids through a donation of some type, which we require to come to the board, right? So when we talk fundraisers, it's just not easy. How do we do this, right? There's been questions about, hey, if we want to help fundraise for and add something to a facility or a building, how do you do that? Well, you just can't do that, right? Because when it affects buildings, the district, regardless of who builds it or how it gets done, first of all, if it happens on our grounds, or if it becomes our property, we're responsible for things and how the process. So if you wanted to do something, you have to start with the campus or with the organization and with Justin Williams to identify what we're looking at, because you may not have to follow certain guidelines, but we do. Right? And so there's things there. The second piece of this is that there are several different parts of fundraising. It used to be that only the athletic boosters and the band boosters raised a lot of money, right? We have different fundraisers now that are raising in excess of $40,000, all right? And so that accountability piece of it is important, you know? Why do we do this checklist? Because you have to have approval to do it, which means we know what's going to happen. Back in the day, years ago, this started because what would happen is the softball team sold candy, the baseball team sold candy, the band sold candy, the ag sold candy, and we tried to make sure that not everybody was selling candy at the same time. All right. Things are a little bit different. Fundraisers have changed. Booster clubs, right? So, you know, we've had booster clubs where money's disappeared. 3 years later, they find out $8,000 is missing. Right? Who's responsible? How do you go about those? You know, what are the requirements? We make everybody go through a fundraising meeting where they understand. Meaning, if you're a booster club, you don't have to turn into us. You have to follow our procedures. But if something happens and we ask to see your records, you have to supply them. So trying to make sure we have our fundraiser meetings at the beginning of the year and everybody understands this. A lot of questions recently, because number one, because of the amounts of money. The second piece of it is at the campus level and with band. You know, some of the things have kind of turned into simple donation letters, right? That it wind up raising a large amount of money. You know, we put out, hey, we're trying to raise $90,000, right? Or, we know we're talking about band, the marching band tower came up, hey, we're trying to raise $45,000, and all of a sudden, no, now we're trying to raise 110. Well, that wasn't approved, right? So we need to make sure the message that gets out dictates what we're doing, regardless of whether it's a booster club or whether it's one of our student organizations or our campuses. And so I wanted to show you this and give you a chance to ask any questions. This form, we're actually going to change a little bit. What we're going to ask is that if you're raising, let's just say we set a thing, $10,000. If your organization is going to raise has a plan to raise more than $10,000 a year, we're going to ask you, when you come to our fundraising meeting to begin here, to turn in a fundraising plan. Meaning, what are you doing? I'm going to use band boosters as an example because that's the conversations I've had. When you raise a larger amount of money and you're the booster club and you're working with the school, it just works better if you have an agreement that says we're fundraising for these things, right? And then you fundraise for those things. And then everybody understands what you're doing. It's not anything new. Everybody's on the same page. What we don't want is we're just fundraising and our goal is $45,000. That makes me, right? Because now, did you spend all 45, right? Because that's the other idea, is that if your kids are fundraising this year, then expectation is you spend that money on those kids this year, right? We're not going to fundraise for 3 years to save up when our kids are seniors. Kids that are fundraising get the money this year, right? And if it's going to be something different than that, what it is, and so we have those goals that were clear. The other piece is that over the last several years, you know, there are groups that fundraise. There's a cost to fundraising. There's a cost to doing things. And so our campuses and some of our organizations have had it to where basically a group is hired, right? And let's just say you'll raise $60,000 and 60% comes to the school and 40% goes to the organization. Well, when you do stuff like that, we got to make sure that that is very clear on the paperwork. Because when you don't know that, and then somebody finds out that after the fact, it leads to questions, right?
Is that agreement up front, or how's that agreement approached?
Well,
The
what
60
happens?
Your example is 60/40.
So what would happen is, example, say this organization, what they're going to do is they're going to provide services, right? They're going to help you fundraise, and in part of that process, it's going to be a week-long activity, and they're going to come in your school and over the week do all of these things. So they're going to be there, somebody from the outside coming in, providing resources, doing these things, whether it's parties for the kids, activities for the kid, and doing all those things. And so there's a cost in them helping you do that, right? What we're used to is if it's on the front, our teachers organize it, do it, and we're used to that. Well, life's different. Those things are changing, right? And quite honestly, what you found out is even though it's a 60-40 split, you're still making more money, fundraising way more money than you did when you just did it the old-fashioned way, right? But that's hard to understand because it's a shift, right? And that's why I wanted to through all these conversations. I've been telling the administrators since we set the board agenda, and I'll let you know we were going to talk about fundraising. I just feel the time's right to talk about this. So while you were in this meeting, there's been some posts made. Somebody made a post on the talk of West Columbia. Guys, I need your help. We were just informed that no fault of their own, our Columbia High School shooting sports team has come up short on fees necessary to cover entry costs for the state competition in San Antonio on June 8th through 11th. They are $3,040 short. The team consists of 13 athletes that have been placed well throughout the year, and we're hoping to continue, some being their final high school top competition. The funds are due by Friday morning. And basically, this is something asking, and now people are like donating. How can I donate? Can I send the money to you and you give it to the school? Somebody actually said, drop it off at the school. And my point is, I'm the superintendent. I know nothing about this. Mr. Miller's in charge of CT. He knows nothing about this. Mr. Kenny's the high school principal. He knows nothing about this. My intuition was pretty good that we need to talk about this. Because tomorrow morning, there's going to be people driving up wanting to drop checks off at Columbia High School to pay for this and wanting to know who messed up.
Who posted that? Was it?
I'm not going to say that.
Is it shooting team with FFA or are they?
Shooting teams with FFA, it's through the ag department, it's ours, but it's not something we fund.
Right.
It's like a club.
Their alumni and their club
Right,
sponsor
right.
that.
The students themselves are paying for it.
Right. The students in them, it's like the students, they do, right?
Yeah.
So it's bad, but that's an example of fundraising. And so who's going to provide, the idea of, hey, tax exempt donation, who's going to provide the tax exempt donations? People, and so that's an example of why I wanted to talk fundraising with you tonight, because it's something that's blowing up. And anytime you're messing with money, man, I don't feel comfortable with all that. And so what I was actually going to talk to you about tonight is the things like, we're going to change this form a little bit, and we want you to have we ask what you're doing, right? We ask what you're doing, but give us some more examples of what we're talking about and being a little bit more clear and having a little bit more follow through, making sure that our campuses that generally it would be the campus secretary who's working the ins and outs and handling the money on it, making sure we're following those rules. We do, Julie, I think y'all our business department just finally did their audits at the campus level.
Yeah.
And so we do that. Right, but it's generally what's happening on the campus. It doesn't involve all fundraising, right? And it's just blowing up, and everybody thinks everything's CBISD, and it's really not, right? And to try to just get a handle on that and make sure we provide some guidance to help actually help our booster clubs, right? And so the booster club officers that I've talked with have appreciated, meaning we don't have a head coach or a director trying to influence what happens. You have to work together to provide the good, and it's clearly understood, well, who's going to buy what, and that just helps everybody out.
Does alumni fall underneath this?
Yeah, yes.
I heard a long time ago, I was out in the alumni deal.
They use CBISD as a
marketing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Good.
some of the stuff, like the FFA alumni, they have fundraisers and stuff, and they don't really go through CBISD on that, because there's other things that go on that
Right.
help them make money, you know, and.
Yeah. But that's it, like if you have a, like CBISD, FFI alumni Facebook page, if you're gonna do it on there, and you're not holding the event on campus grounds, and you're not talking to the kids about it during school, then that's perfectly fine. Right?
If the kids are selling it.
If the kids are selling it on campus, then that custody need to come through the school. That's what I'm saying. If you go outside of school and you don't come to school, you can't do any part of it on school grounds or with kids during school time.
Have we been turning in our booster club guidelines in each organizations?
Yes,
We're required to turn.
they have
every
to.
year.
So
Matter of fact, I just sent the email out for a guy, you may have been.
I didn't get it, but I need to
I
transfer.
sent that out to
You
the
did, I need
principals
give
at
it to next
the
one.
beginning of May.
Yeah.
Handbooks and guidelines.
Okay.
So I know we weren't gonna solve problems tonight, but it gives you time to think,
I have another question.
okay?
So like when the kids are working for money, like the band works at the fireworks stand, they do this anyway?
They do that. Mhm.
Concession stand?
They do
They
that.
do this.
So those alumni, like that FFA alumni, even though the money is ultimately benefiting the kids, they still don't have to, they don't need to do this because they're
Depends.
considered, because they're
It,
outside
it,
of
it
that.
depends. The FFA alumni, so they do the, prom. They do a fundraiser for prom. Homecoming. So they do a fundraiser, so it depends.
Well, that's on campus.
Yeah, yeah.
But I meant like their fun fest. Would they need to do something like this for their fun
If
fest?
they're not,
It's not on
if
campus,
they're not
it's
doing
not-
any, if they're not using the school secretary, hey, send this out to the kids, put it in the senior now. If you're not doing any of that, then you don't have to come through the school.
Hey, last time I didn't see it. Last time I saw it all on Facebook. They
No,
just,
it was. I just was wondering,
Yeah.
we said about it
And that-
ultimately benefiting the kids, then
Well,
that's
it
the
can,
time.
but you give it back as a donation.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Okay, once it's the raising money
It's the
piece of
raising
it.
part of it. Okay.
Once you give it as a donation, that's different. Then it comes to the board in front of you
And you would say
for you
yes.
to accept, right? So it's just about that process.
a lot easier that way.
It is, but we have those questions,
Right.
right? You know, it's like, okay, so there's questions about building a batting cage at the high school.
Right.
Well, the problem is you're gonna build it on school grounds. So at the end of the day, you have to work through the school as a fundraiser for that, because it's coming on the school grounds, right? So,
So also during the meetings, it needs to be expressed to the person in charge that's at the meeting to go back to say, don't put stuff on social media saying we're short
Well,
like that.
I would assume that's a parent. I would assume that's just a parent trying to do something good, right? I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, that's why we talk about it, because, you know, hey,
April will be happy in the morning, huh?
I'm
April will be happy in the morning.
I'm
Getting checks in the morning.
Yeah. But, you know, the other part of that, is somebody wants to help, and we're saying we can't. Yeah, it puts you in a bad spot, right? You know, the other piece of this, the last time we talked about this was, I don't know, I'm gonna guess 15 years ago. And we put a ban on kids knocking on doors. If y'all, the board members, y'all remember that, the last time we did that, we said, we are not knocking on doors anymore. We're not sending kids out to walk through neighborhoods and knock on doors. Right, and so, you know, that was the last time that we kind of had this conversation. But I wanted to give this to you now, to give you a chance before our school year gives you a few months to kind of absorb it. And if you have something that you want to bring to the table, then let's sit down and add this if we need to. So, you know, just something that there's a little box at the top that talks about taxable sale, non-taxable sale. You know, that's at the campus level, that drives us crazy, right? Because when you fundraise and you sell stuff, there are sales taxes depending upon I think we're allowed one, each organization, one, two a year that you don't pay tax, you know. So you got,
Usually the groups are splitting them in spring and fall.
right.
I mean, the ones
Right.
I'm associated with.
But, you know, the person doing that has to understand you don't want to waste it on your small cell, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's a process, and that, you know, it's something that I'm guessing that, well, I think I know now, this is gonna need a lot more attention in the future. I've been looking at this myself the last couple of years, looking at what other districts do. A lot of larger districts than us have actually gone to, if you're not raising, if your estimation to raise is not at least $500, they don't let you do it. Simply because dealing with something small is not worth their time, because that's where the problems are. Right? It's easier to deal with the big ones. And so if that's something you're interested in, right? Because, I mean, when you do it one time a year, that's one thing. But if you do 10 small ones, you know, you as a board of trustees that have been here a while, we went into a situation of where we kind of stopped asking the community for sponsorships. We did scoreboards, and we just put scoreboards up, and there's no sponsorship on the scoreboards, right? Because the board recognized, whether it's project graduation, you know, right now, project graduation, Rotary Club, I mean, everybody doing a lot of stuff from March to May. The board said, we just pulled away and said, it's our responsibility, we're gonna do it, and we're gonna fund it, right? Things like school supplies in the past. And we're not in a position to do it today, but there were years where we said, parents aren't buying school supplies, the board's gonna provide them, right? And so and that's where I'm getting at. Are there things you would like to do as a board? Let me know, and let's have that conversation before August gets here when it comes to fundraising. If there's things you'd like to see done. With that, that's all I have for you on that.
Okay, thank you. Next, we'll move to budget report for 2025, 2026.
So legislatively, if you've looked, it's Senate Bill 2, which is the money. Well, House Bill 2, if you want to call it, that's the money. Senate Bill Committee edition. But there's still what the House wanted to do and what the Senate wants to do. Quite honestly, both of them have a lot of money in it, right? The House wants to give you the money in a way that's more through the basic allotment, which generally means that the rule would be that 40% of the basic allotment increase has to be used for staff raises, and 75% of that 40% has to be used for teachers. Go to the Senate wants to give money for teachers if they have at least 3 years of experience, right? Meaning there was not money for teachers 0, 1, and 2, right? Steps of service. Meaning in that situation, you could be operating with an $800,000 deficit budget. And because of the way you have to spend your money, you give teachers raises, but at the end of the day, you still have an $800,000 deficit budget, right?
More, because you're responsible for the fringe benefits.
Yeah.
What did you say, Alan? I didn't quite.
I said more, because they only give you the money for the actual raise, not for the fringe benefits that we have to pay TRS and all that.
On that basic allotment, are they still talking like the $6,500?
Well, right now, the Senate version has a $55 increase, which amounts to, I don't know, $160,000 for us versus $355, increase. So where it is, you're still talking, we'll see, right? At the end of the day, more money is more money, right? But, I'm not gonna tell you where we're gonna be. I can tell you what the advice is from our financial advisors now. Julie said she's preparing a budget for 25, 26 on current law, meaning like if nothing happens, okay? So we have to do that. You already know that enrollment's down, attendance is down, and so our starting point this year is less than last year. right? And so, Greg asked, how's things going? Well, every time we save money, we find out, so it's kind of like our expected deficit staying here, and the more we cut, we find things, right? Like things that are increasing, right? We got to buy fuel. We got to do this. We got to do that, and we got to budget for those things, right? And so that's that Julie trying to make sure that her budget is an honest budget. Okay, so when she goes through and she says, "Oh, the cell calculated 7% for TRS withholding versus the required 8.75%, right? When you find issues like that are formatting issues, you fix them, and you're honest, and you say, this is what we got to have, right? And so as we find it, it's like every time we save, we don't really save as much as we want. Because SHARs, as an example, right? Yeah, we got hit 3 times SHARs last year, and we're getting hit again this next year, right? Because it's even going to be less.
Are we being conservative on the 88?
Very much so.
Okay.
Very much so.
We're going to have to be.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, so we've got work to do, right? Now, what's going to happen is we're going to give you that. And quite honestly, I don't see how in the world we're going to make that not a deficit budget. You're going to have to say, as an example, and the budget savings, we've already cut 18 teaching spots. Right. So, and we're to the point where I've shared that TASB staffing survey with you. We're to the point now when it comes to staff, you're going to have to come in and say, if you want that deficit to be less, you're going to have to act and say, cut this, cut that, cut this. All right? So we still have more savings to go through attrition. All right? We've designated what positions can go away and which can't. All right? Because we still got to have school next year. Right? We still got to have safety. We still got to have those things regardless of what the legislature does. And we don't know. So that's current law in getting that budget approved. Right? Because I don't see any way by June the 30th that the legislature is going to be able to pass what they pass, and we're going to be able to know actually what that money means. So we're going to have to pass a budget based on current law, and it's not going to have any raises. And if you want additional things taken out, we can do that. But you're going to, and that's why Julie asked, if you want to meet in June before the next board meeting and talk about those things, we can. But because they're to the point of we've scrubbed as much as we can. All of the extra things that are in the budget are things that you acted on specifically to bring back to solve a problem. Okay, so I will tell you, anything you cut from here on out, going to cause a problem, going to bring a problem back. It's going to be something that it'll hurt. It'll hurt.
Things that
Happens in the past, whether we have extra assistant principals at a campus for me. I'm just saying, you can't forget. You have to know when you take this action, those things are coming back. They just are. That's where we're going to be at if we're going to acquire that. Now, the next piece of this is that at some given point, legislation is going to happen, hopefully. And when that happens, we're going to have to come back with an amended budget, meaning we're just going to come back and reset it, right? So now, when you pass the budget, much like we've done, some of you have been on the board long enough to where when you passed the budget, raises weren't in there. You didn't do raises till August, if y'all remember that. You're going to be in that situation this time. But for teachers, their first check, if you're on the 187 contract, their first check's not till September 10th anyway. So that's not a problem, right? We can do that. It's just, it's not what we've been used to in the past, right? We're going to have to change that. And so then we'll be able to come back. So the question being, you pass a deficit budget to get, because we have to have a July 1 budget, right? And then the legislature does something. It may flip the apple cart and now it's not a deficit budget anymore. Or it may flip the apple cart a little bit and it's still a little bit of a debt. We don't know. That's what I'm saying. You just have to understand the lay of the land. if you force if you force what am I looking for? I want to say an equal budget, but a balanced budget. If you force that, then good things may happen, and it's going to be August, and you're not going to be able to bring them back. Right? If you don't force a deficit budget and you allow a deficit budget to go forward, something good might not happen is to erase it all. Those are just things I think we need to sit down and talk about. What are your ideas so that we're all on the same page as we go forward and we have a good understanding of what we're doing?
Roughly in general fund?
In general,
What is
our fund balance?
Yeah, fund balance, I'm sorry, yeah.
Oh,
Fund balance.
I don't have it right off.
That's fine.
I can get it for you.
No, it's not a big deal. I'm just trying to think, 1.2 is coming.
Yeah.
And then we are literally gonna turn around and do another deficit budget, hoping, like we did last year, it's coming, and it's not.
Yeah. But, again, the hits.
Yeah.
The hits that happened, right? Last year were just kind of crazy, right? Unexpected things, right? And those were equal opportunity across the state.
So you're saying the hits were hits at other districts too? Okay.
Oh, we're not by ourselves. No, we're not by ourselves.
They have,
Clarify that.
they don't have to approve their budget right now.
Right.
Yeah, because I know we're on a different cycle.
So, it's a process, and that's why I wanted to lay that out. It sounds kind of scary, and quite honestly, it is. Right?
Yeah.
Because you don't know, right? Quite honestly, I mean, even when we've had deficit issues, you guys have given raises. The worst raise, you've let the hiring schedule roll, and the teachers at least got a small raise. I mean, you've always been that board. But, you said last year, right, this time that you can't do it again. And here we are. We can't do it again, but at the same time, we've talked other things. There are things on your paper you can do, right? We've talked about tax ratification election and what that could do and the understanding and the other districts that have done that. We've talked about other moves, sizes of schools and things we could do, right? You've got things on your paper that you know you can do, and it won't be a problem. But is that the right thing for you to do now? Because this is 1 year, and if you do something that drastic 10 years down the road, is it still the right decision, and what have you done? Right?
Well, it's not gonna help us either, because did the property tax bill pass where they went to $140,000 on the property tax?
Probably going to.
Yeah. I mean, it did to us last year, and that's what took away a big chunk of our money. It matches dollar for dollar. If they do that again, it's just gonna put us even bigger in the hole.
Can.
Right.
So, anyway, it's a conversation. It's a delicate conversation. It's an important conversation, right? And so as we're talking, best bet is it's kind of hard in a meeting like this because we need to have a workshop. We're not talking names of positions, and we don't want to scare anybody. That's not what this is about, right? It's not. We haven't fired anybody. We haven't told anybody to leave. Everything we've done right now is through attrition, right? And so that's the good way to handle this. And we've moved people around to manage the best we can right now. But we're to the end of the year. How many more resignations we're going to have? And quite honestly, we're having to fill some positions because we still got to teach class and have a certain level of safety and security there. And so we are asking you to still fill some positions, but we do have other positions that we know if somebody was to resign, we could probably not fill. So we have those. But at the end of the day, those are just conversations, right, that we need to have. So
We have to approve the budget by June 30th.
June 30th.
So our next meeting, the June meeting is?
What's it, June 17th? So I think as of right now, what we were going to suggest is what we've put out is that June 17th is your regular board meeting. June 30th is the day you have to approve a budget. That's a Monday night. Okay? Quite honestly, you could let things roll till June 17th. We bring what we have, and then you have a special meeting between the 17th and the 30th. And then you also have the 30th. If you want to do it that, or if you want to meet early, right? But if you meet early, your meeting right now is about current law and where you want the current law budget to be, meaning how close to balance do you want it?
You think we'll know something later in June?
I can't guarantee you whether it goes to special session, right? By the end of May, you should, unless something goes to special. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. That's why I'm telling you. The earlier meet, you need to talk about just current budget.
Would y'all feel comfortable bringing what y'all have on the 17th, and if we need to have a special meeting after that? I'd like to get more information than we could to
And
come
we
in.
can't wait that long. We need to have a budget meeting and talk about it. We need to see what Julie pulls together, because you said you're working on current law. So whatever she pulls together, we need to sit down.
That's not going to change. Right? That's not going to change, right?
But that's where we start, right?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, that's where we start.
Yeah.
I can meet next week.
I can be ready whenever y'all are ready. I mean, I can have something whenever y'all are.
We can set that date.
Yeah, we could talk about it. You don't have to do it tonight. We could talk about it and get that done. Okay.
Okay, is that it on?
That's
the
it.
report? Okay, Bond 22 report.
Going good. If you've been by, we're actually moving stuff in. Teachers are moving into classrooms. Things are going really, really, really well. On schedule, on time. Thursday morning is our staff breakfast, awards breakfast at 8:30. So that program will be over by 9:30, and one of the things we're going to let staff do from the whole district is just walk through if they would like to. So
It's located where?
In the student center cafeteria. So speaking of the bond, I do have this for you. If you want to pull that out of your maroon folder. Again, this is just a balance upkeep for you. Yeah.
Very back.
Yeah, it's probably at the very back.
Here it is.
No.
That's good.
There you go. So, Jenna, this is probably your first time to see this.
Yep.
Okay, but this is the bond, so if you look at it, so down you see at the top left, construction total cost, phase 1, 2, 3, architect A&E's, architectural, engineering, testing, technology, and FF&E. You come over to the right, the 100% budget. So the whole cost of the high school project, because we did it in phases, 1, 2, and 3, is that $63,500,000 number.
Okay.
The money built into the planning of that for architectural engineering is the 3.9. For all of the testing requirements that we go through, the budget's 1.3. For everything technology related for the project's 3.2. The FF&E is like furniture, the things that go into the school, other things, it's 4.6. Okay, so you see the total approved by the board at the 100% budget is the $76,720,2022. The total bond was 79, so that gives you that 2.2 variance, meaning that's extra money. Okay, move over to the right, you have the yellow and the green. The green is what I'm telling you is going to be left over at the end of the project, okay? So out of phase 1, 2, and 3, so phase 1 and 2 and 3 had allowances built in. If something goes wrong, or we think this would cost this much and we save money, so that 4.4 number is what I'm telling you is going to be left out of that part of the budget. Out of the A&E, I think there's going to be 100,000 left. Out of testing, 700. Out of technology, 600. And then out of FF&E, 600. To the left, the yellow, what I call the budget slack that totals to 770, that's money I'm telling you I might need to finish the project. Hey, we need shelves in the classroom. We need science chemicals, those kind of things. okay? So in the green, going back down, the total of that I think is going to be left is 6.4. Then when you add the variance of 2.2, then when you add the interest that the bond funds have earned of the 3.1, you get that 11.8 number. When you take the West Brazos Junior High bond funds that are left, it's 226. If you remember, it used to be higher, but we approved that mechanic lift that came out of that. So that gets you to right at a little over 12 million that I think is going to be left. You approved the WCE West Brazos Junior High roofing project at 4 million. You take that away, it leaves you with 8 million. And then tonight you approved the Wild Peach water well at 495,000. So I'm telling you, I think there's going to be 7.5 left. Okay. Now, keep in mind that at the end of this, there's still a budget that Dry Mile is working with, a line item budget they have. Anything they don't spend, right, comes back to us because their money's based off a percentage of the project. They get their money to build it, right? If they budgeted $2 million for concrete and they only spend $1 million, that extra million comes to us. So there's a possibility at the end of this, when things are wrapped up and everything's signed and dotted, there could be an additional amount of money coming to us as well on top of this. Okay, so just for clarification underneath, the things in blue are things that we've approved. The band hall renovation, the security upgrade, the EFS material. If you look at it on C building, the top now, you can kind of see where they're working out there. They've caulked all from top to bottom, all of the joints, new compound around the windows. All of the EFS is being redone. Will be beautiful when they're finished there. The HVAC piping in the mechanical rooms of C building, so that when it's a little over 20 years old, so that when we put in the new HVAC, we don't blow the rusty pipe. We gotta get all those replaced as well. The district phone upgrade, the district radio, transportation and campus, security upgrade, the transportation mechanic bus lift. The other things I have in green down there, there are things that I'm looking at. That would be part of that 770 that I'm looking at. The student center, C building, upstairs and downstairs in the hallway, and the auditorium all need new flooring. And so that 183,000 is the estimate we have for that. The student center, cafeteria, bathrooms, as well as the bathroom set by the choir, between the choir room and the band hall. We're looking at getting those upgraded as well. And then we got the marching band tower as well. So those are the things that I'm looking at, plus anything else that pops up out of that 770. Over to the right, you see the yellow, we've got the agriculture barn. And then the BE roofs, the Wild Peach roofs, and the CHS roofs. That's what we'd be looking at, that 7.5 or anything else that's left to cover those expenses. So that's kind of where we are on the bond. It kind of gives you an update of where we're at, okay? So, being the bearer of good and bad news, right? Everything's on process. So, now, when you're conservative, and you do a good job with your money, it's nice. But there are other dynamics at play, such as a term called arbitrage. Okay? So I'm going to let Julie talk to you about arbitrage on this project.
Okay, so I've met with Dwayne and Greg something with Ritz and Associates. They do calculations on arbitrage. And so when we sold our bond, I'll do my bad. When we sold our bond, I thought, we passed a bond. We're going to sell in two parts, series 2023 and 2024. Well, we were actually supposed to keep those separate because they were actually two separate bonds. And so I've gone back through and split it up. And so he has done a calculation on the 2023 bond, and we have no arbitrage issue with that at all. It's passed all the criteria. And basically what you have to do is you have 24 months to spend it. But along those 24 months, you have to meet certain, you don't just pass it because you spent it in 24 months. Like within the first 10% has to be within the first 6 months. And then at 12 months, you should have spent 45% of the bond. At 18 months, 75%, and then 100% within 24 months. And so the Series 2023, we did finish spending it within the 2 years. We finished this past September. And so September is when we also started the Series 2024 that we sold in June of 24. So we have until June of 26 to spend that and the interest on that if we don't have arbitrage. Now, the arbitrage will be a penalty for the interest that we earned if we don't spend it by that time. And so we have gone through the first 6 months of it that we passed, and he made the comment that we failed the 6 month, but we haven't hit that yet. And so once we get all of our bills in, the 12 months, once we get all of our bills in May, we should have all of that. And you have to pay it. You can't just get a bill for it. You have to actually spend the money. And so we'll ask for some of our bills early this next time so that we can get them paid in May, so that by June, we've reached our 45%. But then we still have the next two criteria, the 18 months and the 24 months that we would have to spend our money. And it can't be that we have a contract to do something. You have to have spent it. So
it has to be done by June of 2026.
Yes.
Including all the interest.
End of May, including the interest.
Is there, like we did for the junior high, is there a percentage that we can keep?
So junior high was because of the amount, right? So this is kind of new, right? We don't pass, we haven't passed very many $79 bond elections. So the junior high never met the total amount. We were fine.
So I would say take that off of here from now on. You get right back where it was
exactly.
at.
And so in this situation, you would take that off of there, right? But again, so this is that conversation we've been having for a while as we've been looking at other projects, right? And we do a great job of like squeezing the nickels and squeezing the nickels and squeezing the nickels. I just simply wanted you to understand that you could squeeze the nickels and have to pay some money back and not be able to use it.
How much percentage of the interest do we have to pay back?
I missed the webinar today that was talking about that, and this guy's just doing the calculation. I don't know the percentage. It's the difference between what you actually received in interest and what your rate was that you're paying on the bond.
Right, sold for?
Yeah.
The difference?
Difference. And you have a percent of that.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be 1.5%, 2%, easy.
Yeah. Of what's left.
Of what's left. Now, it's just of interest.
Of interest,
Of
yes.
interest. So,
Of your principal,
yeah, so
If you don't spend it.
if you don't spend it.
if you don't spend it, within the 24 months.
So as long as we spend it.
As long as you spend it, you're okay.
Because
Like,
you
we
have
were
to
fine
spend
with
everything in the
23.
bond first, then you have to
Then
spend
you
your
spend the
interest.
interest, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so we had to calculate like the
So-
interest for the Series 23. And make
I did, because again, this has really been hard for us, right? I did staple a packet in your maroon folder. I didn't print off all the pages, right?
The government
Yeah.
would be a book.
Right, but if you look at the last two pages, which are page 13 and 14, at the very bottom, you see in blue, it says the 2-year spending exception. That's what Julie's talking about. And then if you turn the page, at the top, you'll see bullets 1, 2, 3, and 4, which are those limits that's the guide that they suggest. That's your testing, right? As you go through the project, what they're saying is those numbers keep you on track. Okay?
So those percentages are tied to the interest only.
Correct.
The interest that you make.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, but you don't, again, like Ray said, you got to spend your money. You don't get to count it until all of your construct money's gone, then you count the interest, right?
But we have the Series 2023, that
That's
is,
done.
it's done.
Right.
Interest is spent.
Right, so my
That's-
calculation, when you look at that, is gonna be half of it.
Okay.
Right, so that's the good, I'm just saying, I'm just showing you that you could save money, think you're saving money, doing a really good job, and at the end of the day, you gave some of it back, and so how good a job did you really do, right? But my point is, if we want to argue about something costing $500,000 or $475,000, it's really not an argument, is what I'm trying to say, right? Is that's, right, are we doing what we want for the district and getting it for the kids, right?
I guess we really need to.
Yeah.
I know Justin's working on the roof bids.
Right.
On those, I would like to know ages on those and see if we're really,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't need to spend the money, but I don't want to waste it on a roof that's kind of 5 or 7 years on it. We can put together a plan to pay for that roof next 5 to 7 years. Let's
Well,
look up. There's something.
I will tell you this, and so you're exactly right. They need to get that infrared done, and if it qualifies for the recover, we need to jump on that.
Yeah.
If they don't qualify and it's the full thing,
Right.
that's gonna be way more money than we're talking about. We have left. I agree with you.
And then we may look at some of the other options on here
Yeah.
that show the,
You know,
the community that we're.
The point is, that's a pretty hefty amount of money, and that money gets spent on buildings that are a little large, right? You don't build those in 11 months, is what I'm getting at, okay? Right?
So is there other district improvements that we're paying for out of the fund, out of our budget right now that we could use some of that money towards?
We need to look and see if other things qualify, and that's where we're going. We need to look, but we need to talk about as a board, do we agree, given this, is that something we would want to do, right? You know. As an example, if you found another project that we've done and you could say you could reauthorize the expenditure, right? Well, if you're in a 1.2 deficit budget, your deficit goes from 1.2 to 800.
Right.
So the question is, do you see that as you gaining $400,000? Yeah. Right, you don't, but that's the point you're in right now. So if you do that right now, that's a problem. Once you get to July 1, we're in the new budget year, so it would have to be things moving forward.
Yeah, I would, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gets tricky.
Anybody have anything else?
Nope, just think we need to get some firm numbers on that because if we're gonna jump on Ag Barn or something like that, it needs to happen now. or
Yes.
A month ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Is the Ag Barn considered a 2-year project, or was it considered even longer?
Well, it's in a design development right now. We've had our meetings, we've talked about and approved what we would like to see in the design,
Okay.
but we have to get that, done.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I guess next we'll move into board reorganization, election of officers.
All right, so I sent out the emails before, as we have in the last several years, is for the nomination process. So the nominations that came back, and I did contact these people to make sure they would accept the nomination. But the emails nominated Linda Hebner as board president, Becky Danford as vice president, and Jackie Gocher as secretary.
So we'll just need,
Just a motion to approve that slate of officers.
I'll make a motion that we approve Linda as president, Becky as vice president, and Jackie as secretary. Do I have a second?
I'll second since you use your name search person.
Make a motion without the name?
Look, you said Becky. No.
Ray's gonna second it, I guess. All in favor? Opposed? That motion carries.
Congratulations to y'all.
Thank you. And also, first in CBISD history, that it is women officers.
Oh. Hey, how about that?
I mean, I'm just guessing, I think it is. It is. Moving on.
I would make a guess that you're right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a guess that you're right. That's cool. No, that's seriously, that's very cool.
Yeah, it is. I thought so.
And actually, a West Columbia member now.
Yeah.
We haven't had
Yeah.
we haven't had somebody
That's
that-
been a while since we had a, you're right.
Yeah, you're right.
And the Peach is still carrying it though. The Peach is still got it.
Yep.
Okay, next we're gonna approve the annual board meeting calendar of dates and activities for 25-26. I think it was attached to our board.
There.
Nothing new on there.
I wanted to point out a couple of things.
I like adding that Monday.
What?
Never mind.
Okay.
I skipped it.
This is for 25-26. So the only one, if you look in March, you'll see it falls a little different. And so there are a couple of dates, but we went based on holidays, and there was one situation where it was like 2.5 weeks between board meetings and things in there. And then, of course, we did, if you see at the bottom, for regular meeting June 16th, and then, of course, special meeting on June 30th. Just kind of putting that out for next
Wow,
year.
graduation went way up.
Huh?
Next year graduation, the way it falls, it's on the 21st.
Yeah.
Okay, well, does anybody have any questions or comments on the board meeting calendar? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion that we approve the annual board meeting calendar of dates and activities for 25-26. Do I have a second? Second by Jackie, all in favor? Opposed? That carries.
Oh, girl. I'm not telling you when my birthday.
And then I'm going to move into the action item consent agendas. Approval of minutes of the April 15th, 2025 regular meeting, approved budget amendments and donations, approved depository bank contract, approved changes to the 25-26 academic calendar. Would anyone like any of those items pulled? Then I'll make a motion, we pass the consent agenda as presented. Do I have a second?
I'll second this.
Second by Linda, all in favor? Those opposed? That carries. Do you have anything else? Okay. At 8:21, we're going to adjourn to closed session pursuant to the Texas Governmental Code, the Open Meeting Act. Consider the employment of professional personnel, discuss the resignation, retirement of professional personnel, goodness, discuss the performance of personnel. We will reconvene in open meetings after that. Thank you for coming.